For our final story on today's show, we look to a former powerhouse in the music industry who has reinvented herself as a leading real estate agent and consultant, thriving on the principles of compassion and understanding. Amber Noble emphasizes how empathy not only shaped her relationships with clients and colleagues, but also enriched her life's purpose.
Hi, I'm Amber Noble, the real estate expert, and this is my story of empathy and understanding. As a career, this is my second act. My first act in professional life was as a radio, TV, and eventually an entertainment marketing and brand strategy executive. I am now a real estate expert and have been for the past 17 years. And what I primarily do is I help individuals and families build multi-generational wealth through the acquisition, sale, and transfer of real estate assets. In addition to that, I help to mentor and coach real estate agents and real estate professionals to reach their highest self. So what inspired me to make the crazy leap from the fabulous media and music industry in 2007 at the height of the recession was because I had to be crazy. No, in all honesty, it was my desire to leave the feeling of burnout. And it was also my desire to create more life-work balance. People always talk about work and life, and that was my life for many years. And I decided I wanted to put having a great life and then work could come next. So I took from being a real estate investor into being a real estate professional in many aspects, and I haven't looked back. Some of the keys to maintaining great business relationships, and more importantly, staying true to my personal values, are doing what I say I'm gonna do. And even when I can't do it right when I say I'm gonna do it, being accountable. Some people confuse explaining yourself with accountability, but I'm big on self-accountability, and I wanna give that to other people so that they know that they can rely on what I say. Another thing is putting other people's needs first before your own. Listening to understand and not just to respond. And those are some of the traits that I try to exude on a daily basis naturally to help me really build not only a robust business, but a great life. The way that I balance the demands of real estate, which are really high stakes, particularly in the luxury space, is that, and how I implement empathy into my business is I am my authentic self. And authentically, when I'm not on camera and when I'm not on the clock, so to speak, I'm just naturally an empathetic person. I'm a person who tries to find myself in other people's stories. Even if I haven't experienced it, I still try to put myself in other people's shoes. And I think that no matter what price point you're dealing with, or if I'm dealing with celebrities, or if I'm dealing with just the average person who's working a blue-collar job, putting myself in another person's positions to try to identify what their needs are and where we can find that point of intersection is something that anyone could appreciate. Thankfully, I have had the enormous fortune and pleasure and privilege of working with limitless talent, some of them very iconic, for probably 30 years or so. And so one of the things that I think I've become masterful in is helping talent transition from being known as one thing into perhaps something else. I've done it with celebrity talent, I've done it with influencer and media talent, and I've also helped real estate professionals transition in their own career and see new heights. I've also had the pleasure of helping my clients transition into housing and to even being, multi-millionaire real estate investors. So they start at one point, and I work with them, holding their hands side by side to help them transition to a completely different place and ascend in those spaces. I tell my real estate clients the same thing I would tell my celebrity clients. Be authentic, really know what your core is, know what your beliefs are, and try to stand firm on those. With my real estate clients, I tell them, listen, if you are buying a home, don't fall in love with the home if it's not the right fit. You want to make sure that this really checks off your most important boxes. and don't romanticize about things. See them for what they really are. That is how you'll build your family's legacy. Stay true to who you are. Don't try to fit into these boxes and these molds of what you see on social media. If you show up in your own skin, so to speak, people will gravitate towards that. And the people who don't, they weren't meant for you anyway. So I'm building my legacy. My real estate clients are building their legacy right beside me. My celebrity clients, many of whom I still deal with, they already have legacies, and many of them want to maintain their legacy. So we all have something to offer, right? But our values and that sort of template remains the same. Just know who you are, know what you stand for, know what's important to you, have a vision for where you want to be, and stay true to that. First and foremost, I'm proud to be the mom of an amazing daughter who just happens to be on the autism spectrum. And so I have a really, really deep place in my heart for people who learn differently and to move along in life differently. I have a mom who recovered from a major acute ischemic stroke, and you'd almost never know it if you saw her today. And my dad became disabled later on in life. Unfortunately, he succumbed to a lung disease. So all of these things in life, amongst other things, have really encouraged me and motivated me to reach out to other people and share my gifts of communication, my gifts of negotiation, my gifts of bringing, people together to really advocate for people. And advocacy is really what I do in my real estate practice. It's what I did in the entertainment industry for many years. And to this very day, I'm a staunch advocate for people, and I'm proud of that. Out of this great 17-year real estate career, the past 4, in addition to serving my clients at a really high level, I also came out of leadership retirement, and I had the privilege of helping to grow a brokerage division to 115 agents, which was far more than where it started as the broker in charge. It's one of the greatest joys and proudest moments of my career and of my life. One of the things that I always try to encourage the agents when they would come to me for legal advice about contracts or how to get through really tough deals is I would always say to them, put yourself in that other agent's shoes, because you both want the same thing. You may represent one person in the transaction, they may represent another person in the transaction, but ultimately, someone wants to live in that home and someone wants to move to their next. You just have to always find that common ground. I always say lead with empathy, lead with understanding. It makes things so much easier, and it takes the stress level down. I think you become a better person when you really, really tap into other people. As much as, some people like talking about themselves, I actually like talking about other people. I'm a sponge. I like to learn. I love to learn about other people. I'm an ever curious human being. Being empathetic and trying to understand others is something that comes just very natural to me. And it makes the work that I do not even feel like work. Now that I am no longer responsible for 115 and counting agents, in addition to just focusing on my business and the 25 to 50 or so sets of clients that I have the honor to help every single year, the thing that I'm looking forward to doing is to continue to build my own real estate portfolio, which is very purpose-driven. So I intentionally and deliberately buy homes that need to be fixed up in major cities to provide affordable housing to hardworking people who want to live in clean homes and safe neighborhoods. And I'm just thrilled that I'm going to be able to have more time to be able to do that, as well as write my next book and maybe pursue some postgraduate studies. I'm a forever learner. I'm just always interested in just feeding this big old brain of mine. But more importantly, I'm really committed to using my God-given gifts to not only serve myself and my family, but to pour into other people. And I'm really, really pumped up about being able to do that.
What a great story. It's truly inspiring to see how she transformed her career while remaining committed to her values, using her experiences to uplift others along the way.